Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. 5 things we learned. Stephen Howson, Manchester United, absolutely rodding Chelsea. It was embarrassing, wasn't it? Let's look at the 5 things then. Straight up, number 1, top 4, now secured. Zero speculation. What about if the... No, it's done. It's done. It's done. In a few months' time, someone's going to be pulling Manchester United out of a hat, telling us what pot we're in, telling us what group we're in, and then not long after that, we'll be hearing... honestly, the best theme tune in football, isn't it? Right? Absolutely spine-tingling. Should we bore you with where it came from, why they created it? For those who are interested, those of a certain vintage like myself, and Notch, because he's well old, we'll remember Italian 90. I only just about remember Italian 90. But Italian 90 had a theme tune to it. And then the Olympics in Barcelona in 92 had a theme tune to it. And... when they were creating the Champions League, they was like, it should have a theme tune. Ergo, fucking theme tune. And they smashed it out the park. It hasn't had to change. It's just been mega, and it really works. It absolutely sends shivers down your spine. And I can't wait to be listening to it again in person. Sensational techers. No one had us in with a shout of finishing inside the top 4. If you look at the BBC's list, they had maybe like a couple of people out of like 20 that had us finishing inside the top 4, picking up a trophy on top of that as well. This is something that we have not done in the 10 years post Alex Ferguson. We have had managers win trophies. We have had managers achieve top 4. None of them have ever done it inside the same season. And Solskjaer was the only one to achieve back-to-back top 4 finishes as well. Still doesn't get the credit for that, alas. So it's an achievement for sure, and it's definitely something for us to build on. And luckily for United, and I say luckily because I think sometimes the Tottenham side for me a few years ago, I looked at that and was like, I don't know how you tangibly improve this football team without spending like ungodly amounts of money. Arsenal's in a similar predicament. I don't necessarily see the obvious improvement in the Arsenal side. Maybe a right back, maybe. But with Manchester United, I go, oh mate, we need a striker so badly. Like if we get a striker, and it's not just like, oh, can we get a good striker? No, an actual striker. We haven't had one. Get us a striker and we will tangibly improve by points. Normally a striker might get you, or a new player might get you a couple of points. A striker might get United another 9-10 points on his own, which is a really big jump for a single player to bring in. But that's doable because we literally just haven't had one. So a successful season. And I wouldn't get more carried away than just straight up successful season. Certainly not claiming it's time for a trophy parade. Maybe we'll do one if we win the cup double, just to piss City off, but ultimately probably not a trophy parade, but just more like a job well done, get back on with it, and let's fucking do even better next season. Number 2, Casemiro back to his best. He has been a revelation, and we wouldn't have made top 4 without him. He's been transformative for this football team, reminiscent of Roy Keane. For those who weren't lucky enough to see what Roy Keane was all about in a Manchester United shirt, it's the closest I've seen. He was everywhere, tackles, interceptions, made his presence known, was doing stuff at the opposite end of the pitch, scoring goals, creating goals. Nothing short of a success story. And I'll be honest, wasn't really happy with the fee. I thought we had our arse handed to us a little bit on the fee. What's the word I'm looking for? Wasn't overly concerned about the level of player we was getting. Definitely thought, is this a payday sort of move? Maybe we have a year out of him. But he's looked so much better than I thought he was going to look. And he actually suits the Premier League more than I thought he would suit. And I just wish we'd have got him earlier, because we have been crying out for someone in that position for so long, and he just wears it like it was made for him. So, fantastic season from him. Nice to have him back to his best. Number 3, we got a bit of life out of Sancho. Still holding on to the ball a little bit. Couple of bursts that I haven't really seen out of him in a United shirt. He did look like he was a little bit more confident and sharp, but he was still just could have released the ball just a step earlier, I think, a couple of times. But he did look bright. Maybe even the brightest he's looked this season. Maybe it was because Chelsea was so poor and it was a little bit easy for him, but he did look at his creative best. He plays like this week in, week out. There'd probably be no dramas about him. But them performances have been few and far between. Listen, random players, Lee Martin, Jesse Lingard, there are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, probably the 4th choice striker in 1999. Random players can win you cup finals. It's not usually your big hitters that do stuff in cup finals. So he could have a big say in what happens with the FA Cup, especially with his history of Manchester City. If you're going to turn up for a game, Jaden, that'd be the one that I would like to see him turn up for. Number 4, we got a bit of a scare, Antony and Luke Shaw. So both players come off injured. Antony's looks like he's done for the season. That looked like it was a pretty rough one. Shaw's got a reported back issue. That might be something, that might be nothing. They might just jab him up. That might be serious. It might not be. We'll see. With the City game on the horizon, you have to think about Wembley and you have to say it's a worry. You're going to need a lot more than your first 11, and even that might not be enough with the way City are playing at the moment. How long's Antony out for? It could be his season. He didn't look in good way when he went off whatsoever. So fingers crossed for both of them, because I think you'll need both of them on June the 3rd. Otherwise, we are going to the well to see what comes out, I guess. Number 5, Marcus Rashford. 30 goals for the season. Not to be sniffed at. The last time we scored 30 goals, it was Robin Van Persie, and it was the season that we won the league. So I don't care whether you think he's been good for the entire season. I don't care whether you think he only hit his form after the World Cup. Honestly, I don't care. He has scored 30 goals. It's commendable no matter the circumstances, no matter the player, no matter anything. Getting 30 goals is hard work. So congratulations to Marcus Rashford. Well done. Chelsea really couldn't live with him. The difference in how United attacked, it's, if I could explain it as simply as possible, Marcus is happy to chase. Jadon, Antony, Tony Marshall all want the ball to feet. And it's a different dimension when you've got a player that is a willing runner like Marcus Rashford is. That creates problems for defences, and it really created problems for this Chelsea one. It's been an exceptional season. The level that he hit at times in the season was sensational. He's shown some real character to bounce back from the couple of years that he's had and some of the things that some people were saying about him. United have now got to do the deed, tie him up on a long-term contract, and see where we can go from here. But all in all, good showing from United last night. Really put Chelsea to the sword, who were just shit. One more game to go. Let's rotate for it and do the best prep that we can to give ourselves an opportunity in the FA Cup final. Who knows? See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.